What really happened to Bathsheba in the Bible? If you've ever thumbed through the Old Testament, you might have stumbled upon the narrative of Bathsheba. It reads like a season of Game of Thrones, I assure you. Bathsheba's story unfolds in the second book of Samuel, starting at chapter 11. The setup is provocative. King David, ruler of Israel, spots Bathsheba bathing from the roof of his palace. Despite her being married to Uriah the Hittite, one of his soldiers, David essentially summons her over, and they have an affair. Classic power move from a guy with absolutely zero Tinder swipes needed. But let's not trivialize it. This was far from an affair between equals. There was an undeniable element of compulsion. After all, saying no to a king in those times wasn't exactly a feature of daily life. The plot thickens when Bathsheba sends word to David that she's pregnant. In a desperate cover-up, David's first thought isn't to grab the nearest ancient Hebrew pregnancy test, but instead to get Uriah home from the war front, hoping he'd sleep with his wife and believe the child was his. Uriah, however, is too noble for that, and chooses not to enjoy the comforts of home while his comrades are in battle. Big mistake in terms of narrative consequences. With the cover-up plan foiled, David switches to plan B, sending Uriah back to the front with orders that essentially seal his death. Once Uriah is killed, David takes Bathsheba as his wife, and she bears him a son. But this sordid affair doesn't go unnoticed by God, who sends the prophet Nathan to rebuke David with a rather compelling parable. The baby ends up dying shortly after his birth, which is seen as divine judgment. Now here's the twist. After the death of her first child, Bathsheba eventually gives birth to Solomon, who's destined to be an even greater king than his father David. Bathsheba morphs from a powerless figure into a significant political player, ensuring the succession of her son Solomon to the throne. Quite the Bildungsroman narrative, isn't it? So, Bathsheba's story has elements of tragedy, scandal, soap opera-level drama, and a kind of redemption arc through her son Solomon. It's no wonder it's been fodder for countless sermons and Bible study sessions. Nestled here in Portland, I often think about her story when the rain gives way to a clear night and I can see the stars. There's a sense that every person's story, no matter how big the screw-ups, can take dramatic turns and find new beginnings. This is compelling, no matter what your religious beliefs may be. And adaptation's a huge theme in life here in the Pacific Northwest, repurposing old buildings, bringing new life to forgotten spaces. Bathsheba's story? It's a human story, continually repurposed and re-examined throughout history for its depth of character and theme. So, whether it's an ancient tale from Scripture or the ever-changing narratives around us, one thing's for certain. Our stories are far from static. They're living, evolving, and as unpredictable as a Portland weather forecast.